Okay, so money's tight this month, and you can feel it in your hand, the way your fingers want to close on their own. And somewhere inside you, there's this voice, quiet and reasonable and a little scared, and it's saying, give nothing away right now. Hold on to the little you've got, keep the fist shut. But there's this old promise that says the exact opposite. It says the money you give away doesn't leave you with less. It says giving somehow adds to you. And honestly, the first time you hear that, it makes no sense at all. Because look, 2 and 2 are 4. If you've got 100 coins and you give 10 away, you're left with 90. That's not deep wisdom. That's just arithmetic. And every part of you already knows it. And yet, the promise just stands there, not moving, saying, charity does not decrease your wealth. So hold on to that sentence for me. We're going to walk all the way around it, slowly, and see whether it can actually be true. And see, it's hard to believe for a reason. The whole world runs on the opposite rule. No, you spend, you have less. You save, you have more. Everything you were ever taught about money is a story about subtraction and addition. A number going down, a number going up. So when a voice from 1,000 years ago says giving is neither of those, that it's a whole third kind of thing, your mind just refuses it. And that's fine. Let it refuse for now, then keep listening. But first, let's look at the hand for a second. Really look at it. When money runs low, the hand closes on its own. Nobody has to teach it that. It feels like safety. It feels like the one thing left you can still control. You grip what little you have, and the grip whispers, this is how you stay safe. So let me ask you the quiet question underneath all of that. What is that closed fist actually protecting? Because sure, a fist held that tight can't be pried open by a thief, that much is true, but it can't be opened by anything else either. Nothing leaves it, and nothing new can ever come into it, and you can feel this in your own body. When the worry comes, your shoulders draw in, your jaw sets, your breathing goes shallow and high, and your hand curls like it's closing around a coin that isn't even there. That posture is a very old one. It's the body of a creature that has quietly decided the world is running out. And from inside a body like that, giving doesn't feel generous at all. It feels like bleeding. And here's the trap, and it's a gentle one, because it wears the face of being careful. The fear tells you, if I give, I'll have less. And see, the fear isn't lying about the arithmetic. It's lying about what kind of thing money even is. So picture yourself at the kitchen table at the end of a long month. The bills are in one pile. What's left over is in another, and it's small. And someone needs a little help. Not much, just a little. And you feel it happen. That little reflex, the hand closes, and you tell yourself, okay, when things ease up, when there's a bit more, then I'll give. I'll give from whatever's left over. And notice how reasonable that sounds. You're not a cruel person, right? You'll give later, when it's responsible, when it won't sting. You're only being wise. But that's the voice of the fear talking, and it never once calls itself fear. It calls itself being sensible. And then the month eases up, or it doesn't. And somehow that leftover never quite shows up. Because there's always a reason to wait one more month. The fist has learned to stay shut. It thinks it's guarding you, but really, it's only guarding itself. Now let me show you a different kind of hand. Come stand with me at the edge of a field in early spring, and watch a farmer do something that should honestly look insane. He takes his best grain, the plumpest, healthiest seed, the very food he could be eating tonight, and he throws it down into the dirt. He buries it, he covers it over, walks away, and lets the cold rain fall on it. Now, to a child standing next to him, the farmer is just throwing food away. He had grain in his hand, and now the hand is empty, and the grain is gone down into the ground. He has less. Anyone can see he has less. But the farmer, he's not grieving over it. He's calm, almost smiling, because he knows something the child doesn't know yet. He didn't lose that seed. He planted it, and now the hardest part of the craft begins, which is the waiting. For weeks, there's nothing to see, just wet, dark ground, and no proof at all that anything's happening down there. The seed is doing all its work in the one place nobody is allowed to watch, and that's the arrangement. You give it over to the dark, you trust the ground you can't open, and you wait for a season you didn't get to set. This exact picture, this one right here, is the one the Quran reaches for to explain the whole mystery. In the second chapter of the Quran, it says that the one who spends his wealth in the way of God is like a single grain that grows into 7 ears, and in every ear 100 grains. And God multiplies for whom he wills. So do that arithmetic slowly with me. 1 seed buried in the dark becomes 7 ears, and each ear holds 100 grains. So that's 700 grains from the 1 seed the child watched him lose. So the seed was never a loss, and that empty hand was never empty. It was the fullest it had ever been. It was just holding the future instead of the present. And the future, well, you can't count that in a pile on the table. So let's go back to that sentence we were holding on to this whole time. In the collection called Sahih Muslim, the Prophet, peace be upon him, said it plainly: charity does not decrease wealth. And then it sounded impossible because we were doing the arithmetic of a frightened man, just subtracting. 10 from 100 leaves you 90. But God isn't doing subtraction here. He's doing agriculture. When you give, you're not taking 10 out of your 100. You're planting 10 in ground you can't see, tended by a hand that multiplies, for whom he wills. The rule only made no sense, because we thought giving was spending. But it was never spending, it was sowing the whole time. And notice what the promise actually doesn't say. It doesn't say, your pile on the table will be bigger by Friday. A seed's increase doesn't come back as more seed in your fist tomorrow. It comes back as a harvest in its own season, in shapes you weren't expecting. The door that suddenly opens, the cost you were bracing for that quietly never arrives, the help that finds you on the very day you'd have gone under without it. Because wealth was never only the number, it's everything. The number was supposed to buy you enough and steadiness and a full night's sleep. Charity does not decrease that, it plants it. But here's the part I don't want you to miss, because this is where most people quietly step off the path. The seed only grows in real soil. And the deepest giving, the kind that actually changes something in you, it's not the giving you do from your leftovers. It's the giving you do while it still feels a little too tight. Give from your need, not your surplus. Not the coin you won't even miss. The coin your hand doesn't want to let go of. That's the seed with life still in it. See, anyone can scatter grain they were going to throw out anyway. It takes real trust to bury the grain you were counting on. So this week, before the month eases up, while the fist is still tempted to close, give one small thing and do it on purpose. Pick an amount that makes you just a little afraid, and then don't watch for some reward you can add back to the pile. Just watch what it does to your hand, and you might notice something strange. That fear you braced for, it doesn't come, or it comes, and then it loosens, and underneath it, there's this small, clean feeling you'd almost forgotten. The feeling of a hand finally doing the thing a hand was made to do. Because here, at last, is what that closed fist was really protecting all along. Nothing at all. A shut hand does keep out the thief, yes. But it also keeps out every gift, every bit of ease, every unexpected mercy that needed an open palm to land in. That grip that felt like safety was just a wall built around an empty room. The open hand, though, that's the one hand that can do both. It can give and receive, and honestly, they're the same motion, because you can't catch anything with a fist. So come back with me to that kitchen table, in the tight month, and that quiet, frightened little voice that told you to give nothing and hold on to the little you have. Now you know what it was really asking you to guard, don't you? An empty room, a buried nothing. And look, the money's still tight. That part hasn't changed, but the hand can change. Tonight, let it open, just once, just a little, while it's still hard to do. Not because you'll somehow end up with less, but because you were never subtracting in the first place. You were planting a field,